How's it going, everybody? Rob here today, and I'm here to talk to you guys today about goalies and what makes them tick. Now, goalies are a weird creature, but in Shell, I feel like it's one of those questions that nobody knows the answer to is what makes a goalie simulate well? Well, today, guys, I ran a bunch of simulations, and I've got the results for you to test out what goalie attributes make goalies perform better. So, guys, let's go ahead and jump right into this.
We robbed him! Call it copyright, Billmore blind!
So first things first, guys, I'll let you know what I did in the simulation, how I set it up, how I set up these tests. So I ran 105 simulations. What I did is I took Linus Ullmark of the Buffalo Sabres and every season, just in season mode, single season, ran it with all stats at an 80, but whatever stat I was testing was up to a 99. That way I could isolate the impact of each stat on performance. Then I took the amount of saves, shots, goals against, minutes played to calculate the save percentage and goal against average for each season I ran for these categories. I've got the results here for you guys. So first things first, let's talk about what didn't go well. And the bottom 5 kind of makes sense. I'll do my best to translate and explain potentially why these might not be as good. But for starters, puck playing frequency finished dead last. It came in with a .901 save percentage and a 3.09 goal against average and failed to make the playoffs even once. And I can agree with this one being in dead last because if a goalie's not very good anyway, they have a 73 overall, even with all 80s, which doesn't make sense. But with an 80 in every category, if you're going to play the puck a lot, you're probably going to turn it over decently too. So you probably want to be better at saving the puck. And with puck playing frequency being at 99, you're going to throw it out at any opportunity that comes available to you, but you're not really going to be the best at making the saves. Also, being on the Buffalo Sabres every time probably didn't help you out very much, but we had a standardized way to look at the stats then. Next up, in second last place, was durability. And I had injuries turned off for this whole thing. I had auto-rotate goalies turned off, so they played 82 games and everything like that. So durability wasn't going to play an impact, right? If you have injuries turned on, maybe you want a guy with high durability, but it's not going to affect his performance, as we can see from these tests. Again, finishing with a .901 save percentage and a .309 goal against average, failing to make the playoffs even once. I left that last part in there because I wanted to see, can a goalie carry, can one stat carry you to glory, right? Can a high-performing goalie price you to victory? Can he carry you to the postseason? Next up at third last, we have poke checking. Now, poke checking is one of those things that I don't think is very good. I don't know if it increases your likelihood to poke check or if it just increases how good you are at poke checking. But I know we all love our aggressive goalies and our flying poke checks, and we might want to have that good for our ESHL. But it does not have anything to do with the simulation. Again, finishing with a .901 save percentage and a 3.08 goal against average, very similar to both durability and puck playing frequency. So poke checking is not one of those I'd look for when trying to acquire a good goalie. Coming in fourth last, we have aggressiveness. Now, this is one that I thought might do moderately well. I didn't know if it was going to be number 1, but I feel like aggressiveness is a double-edged sword. Aggressiveness is your propensity to come out and challenge the shooter, probably how likely they are to go play the puck too, behind the net, how aggressive they are in pretty much all situations. And that can really be good for you if you're on top of your game. So if you're a really high-rated goalie with a lot of highly rated attributes, and you've got really good aggressiveness and you're challenging, that's probably going to turn out good. But when it comes to just being an 80 overall and everything but aggressiveness, it didn't turn out very well. Guys, we finished again with a .901 save percentage, but this time a 3.04 goal against average, and we're sticking with the 3.0s here when it comes to these bottom 5. We did make the playoffs once, so that's good news for the aggressive goalie. Did actually pay off, but I think that's more so the sim of guys like Jack Eichel, Victor Olofsson, and Sam Reinhart, more so than what Linus Ullmark did in goal. And finally, the 5th least valuable category is passing. We saw this with puck playing frequency. We saw this with durability, aggressiveness, things that don't necessarily have to do with how good can you stop the puck, don't have a really good correlation to are you good at saving the puck. You could be the best passer in the world, but if you can't make a glove save to save your life, you're not going to be a good goaltender in the National Hockey League. Passing finished with a slightly better .902 save percentage, but still in the threes with a 3.02 goal against average. Again, making the playoffs just once. Again, I think that's more down to the sim, but you guys can see those are the bottom 5. And now I'm sure you guys want to hear the top 5 categories. So here we go. Without further ado, let's get into it. Our 5th best category is Breakaway. Breakaway kind of makes sense to me. You're going to win those shootouts more often, potentially, and you're just going to stop better opportunities, right? So those one-on-one chances with the goalie, where we got all the daylight in front of you, no pressure whatsoever. Those are some prime opportunities. The only other one that I'd classify as a better opportunity is a backdoor one-timer where you're wide open, 2-on-1 per se. Those are the opportunities that I'd find a little bit better. But Breakaway, I think, would have to do with those on-the-rush chances, which we're seeing a ton in today's NHL. Breakaway finished with a .906 save percentage and a .293 in the goal against average, having made the playoffs 3 times. 3 times they made the playoffs during the simulation. So that is a very, very good stat. That is the second highest as far as playoff appearances. Next up, number 4 is angles. Now this one makes a ton of sense. Vision did not exactly perform great, but angles did. Angles finished in the top 5 here at number 4. And I think that makes a lot of sense. Angles is one of those squaring up to the puck, cutting off as much of the net as possible. Even if you're not going to make the glove save or the blocker save every time or 5-hole, right? You're going to be in the right position more often than not. You're going to give up less easy goals. And that correlates to our .906 save percentage and our .292 goal against average. Only made the playoffs 1 time, but I think that's down to being on a bad team. The Sabres were very hit or miss. And a lot of times you'd see guys like Jack Eichel simulate well, but Ullmark would not. And that's really what we were testing, right? But a couple times Ullmark had a really good season and didn't get rewarded for it. Now we're going to the top 3 guys, the bronze, silver, and gold medals. Coming in third is endurance. So as I mentioned earlier, guys, this test was done with auto-rotate goalies off. So Ullmark played 82 games, getting pulled from a couple. I believe with endurance, it was the only simulation where he never got pulled once. He played all 82 games, every minute, never got pulled for Carter Hutton, not even once. Endurance was one of those that really surprised me. I thought it would not have a lot to do, but I guess if you're going to be strong later in games and be playing at your peak late in games and into overtime, your team and you are probably going to simulate a lot better. Endurance finished with a .908 save percentage and a .286 goal against average. Now for the top 2. Coming in second, we have recover. The ability to recover from the first shot to the next one or potentially a block shot is very big. And I know EA even added more animations for it this year too. So recovery is our second best. And that really makes sense to me. If you're making the saves but don't exactly have good rebound control, the rebound control for all of these except for the rebound control stat was 80. So having 80 rebound control but 99 recovery was really good. I mean, recovery finished in second. 909 in a 286 was the second best. Made the playoffs 1 time. Again, more down to the Sabres not being good. But for the most part, recovery put on a really good show. I thought it was going to push our number 1 contestant out of its spot. But it just makes sense, right? If you can, make the save, get over to the rebound, maybe smother it, push it to the corner, something like that. The recovery makes a lot of sense as to why this would be number 2. Finally, our number 1, our best and most influential category, the one that makes your goalie the best, the one you've all been waiting for, is stick high. This is one that I was really confused. I did not think stick high was about to be our number 1. I would have thought recovery, angles, breakaway, vision even. Glove high is one I tipped, which finished 6th in case you were curious. But stick high kind of makes sense, right? A lot of teams try and shoot high now in today's league, and being able to make those high blocker saves and being able to not get caught out, because the glove you can catch it up here, but we all try to short side, blocker side, right? Because that's harder to get up there. It's an awkward save. But if you can make those high stick saves, you're probably going to cut out a lot of goals. And well, finishing number 1 on this list pretty much tells you that it does. Stick high finished with a .912 save percentage and a .275 goal against average. That was by far and away the best performance out of any of these categories. And I ran multiple simulations, guys. This was not just 1 season. Like I said, I ran 105 total simulations here. And .912 is the best by a long way. And a goal against average of 275 is the best we've seen. 286 was the next best. And I ran a stat contribution or comparison with all 99. So everything turned up to 99, the perfect goaltender. He had a 917 and a 257. So stick high was the closest to that all 99. All 99 did end up making the playoffs 4 times. So if you guys were thinking that goalie overalls don't matter in the regular season, they most certainly do. Don't forget, I'm using at best a 76 goaltender for most of these simulations, and we made the playoffs 1 to 3 times. 1 to 4 times, I would say. But then your all 99s consistently made it 4 times. That first season was just down to rotten luck with being the Atlantic Division being stupid good. So now I'm sure some of you are curious about what category should I be looking for, right? What category do these top guys, what do they all fit in? Well, I did a category ranking for all 3, and I took the average rank of where they placed on this list. The worst performing category with an average rank of 11.3 out of 19, might I add. These are all out of 19 because there are 19 goalie categories. The athletic category finished with 11.3. So that's not a very good showing, not even an average of the top 10, an average outside the top 10 in the bottom half. And that has to do with a lot with durability and aggressiveness and vision all being, 13th, 18th, 16th. They did not do very good. The best athletic category was endurance, but they didn't have any else in the top 5. Next, coming in its second best category is puck control with an average rank of 10.8. So that's pretty good. Being in the top half, just about, was good. Puck control finished with recovery as our only one in the top 5. Our next category has 3 within that top 5, so 60% of the top 5, and they've got 4 of the top 6. So 2/3 of the top 6 come from the reflexes category. Reflexes averaged an 8.5, and when you're considering that 19 stats, you're in the top half for the most part. They finished 1st, 4th, 5th, and 6th were the best performing for reflexes. Stick high, angles, breakaway, and glove high, respectively for those. So it looks like the reflexes category, if you're just going to do a quick look at categories, reflexes is what you want to have. You want to have good angles, breakaway, and good stick high. Glove high, too, is probably important, considering it was an honorable mention there at 6th. Puck control is pretty decent. I mean, puck playing frequency doesn't matter, and you probably don't want to look too much at the stars. Look more so at the individual recovery and rebound control. Rebound control finished 7th. So recovery and rebound control are probably the only 2 you really want to look at out of that puck control category. And the athletic category, surprisingly, did not perform very well. Our best one was endurance. So if you're going to look at a goalie and the decision is, I don't know who to go with, and they have very similar reflexes and puck control, their angles and breakaway are pretty much the same. Their stick high, glove high is pretty much the same. And their recovery and rebound control is pretty much the same. Go ahead and look at the endurance. It does matter. You can probably get more out of them, get them pulled less, which is going to help their stats out and their averages more. Guys, if this test helped you, please let me know down in the comment section. Anything else you want to see me test? Is there something with skaters? Is something with defensemen? Is there something with goal scoring? What do you guys want to see? Do you want to see team stats, all 99s, 80s, and everything in between? Do you want to see individual skater simulations? Let me know. Leave your thoughts down in the comments section. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see some more, and I will see you guys in the next one.